You're watching Fox News at 10, Western Oregon's only 10 o'clock news.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Natasha Chughtai. Tonight, a serious accusation in a heated primary race. Republican Kevin Mannix accuses Mike Erickson of getting a woman pregnant and paying for her abortion. Now, the nature of this allegation and the timing raise a number of concerns considering the primary is 1 week away. Melika Johnson talked to both sides.
Republican Mike Erickson claims to be a staunch right-to-lifer, but new allegations brought forward by his opponent say otherwise.
Wow, this is real, and he has to answer for this.
Republican Kevin Mannix has sent a letter to voters, dropping a bombshell that Erickson paid for a woman to abort their child.
This is the height of hypocrisy.
Inside the letter is an email from the woman's friend who says Erickson dropped the woman off at an abortion clinic, handed her some cash, and left her at the door.
Did she say he gave her the money, dropped her off, and took off?
Yes.
Lois Anderson with Oregon Right to Life spoke to the woman at the center of the allegation. She also spoke to Erickson.
He acknowledged giving her money and that she needed help and he wanted to help her. He denied that it was his child and he denied knowing that he was helping her have an abortion.
Mike Erickson did not take our phone calls but did issue a statement. It read in part, quote, Mannix does not have any other message for voters except his politics of personal destruction. Nowhere in his 3-paragraph statement did he confirm or deny the allegation.
I would not vote for him after reading this.
Some voters we spoke with did not like what they saw.
I would probably think that he probably tried to lie in some way.
Still, some are skeptical.
Then I would want to know what the proof was. I'm not going to accept hearsay.
It's exactly the kind of reaction that brings into question the timing of the letter's release.
If I'd wanted to simply break this story for the sake of votes, I should have done that 10 days ago when people had started voting.
Melika Johnson tried to get a hold of the woman who allegedly had the abortion through her friend, but so far we've not been able to track her down. Hillary Clinton's biggest supporter, Bill Clinton, is dismissing calls for his wife to leave the race. The former president wrapped up his campaign visit to Oregon this morning in Southern Oregon. Last night, after his speech in Eugene, our executive producer asked the former president the question that's on the mind of a lot of people.
President Clinton, what do you say to people who say your wife can't win, the numbers are against her?
They're wrong.
But it's too late.
She's won most of the elections. If they're so worried about it, why don't they just let everybody vote? We'll see.
Bill Clinton visited 13 cities on this campaign swing through Oregon for his wife. The Oregon primary is May the 20th, and voters in Eugene will not only cast their vote for the next president, but also the city's next mayor. And as Alyssa Harrington explains, it's crucial that you return your ballot. Alyssa, what can you tell us?
Well, that's right, Natasha. I spoke with Eugene's city recorder over the phone. She tells me the majority of the time the primary seals the deal for just who will be Eugene's next mayor. Now, here's why. The primary votes can go one of two ways. Either the two candidates with the highest number of votes will go head-to-head in the general election, or if one of the candidates receives 50% plus one vote in the primary, that will be the only name on the November ballot. According to city documents, only 3 times in the last 12 years has the city of Eugene gone to a November runoff. So just who's left? Well, as of now, there are 4 standing. Eugene's current mayor, Kitty Piercy, Jim Ray, Jim Torrey, and Nick Urhausen. Another heads up to voters in the local Eugene elections, unlike the presidential candidate, the mayoral candidate is not selected on the basis of party membership. Now, what this means is voters can vote for any candidate despite what party you might be registered with. Back to you, Natasha.
All right, thank you, Alyssa, for that report. Hillary Clinton was able to savor the moment. She won big in West Virginia, but the state's modest number of delegates are not enough to close Barack Obama's growing lead. Drew Levinson has the latest.
It was no surprise. West Virginia delivered for Hillary Clinton. The state's large population of white working-class voters overwhelmingly cast their primary ballots for the New York senator.
I am more determined than ever to carry on this campaign.
But Clinton's big victory here doesn't add up to much in the race for the Democratic nomination. Barack Obama barely campaigned in West Virginia, conceding the lion's share of the state's 28 delegates to Clinton. Obama leads Clinton in the popular vote, and party leaders increasingly believe he will be the nominee. Each day, more superdelegates swing his way. How much longer Clinton can campaign remains up in the air. She's $20 million in debt. Wednesday, she'll meet with her top fundraisers to see how much she can scrape up to keep going. Clinton is expected to stump next week in Kentucky and Oregon, but Obama's already set his sights on the swing states this fall.
We're going to spend a lot of time in Missouri making sure we win this state.
He told Missouri voters Democrats will unite in November. But West Virginia exit polls show more than half of Clinton's supporters would either vote for John McCain or stay home if Obama is the nominee. Obama heads to Michigan next, a state he hasn't visited since it broke party rules and held its primary early. It's a likely battleground in a matchup with McCain.
The Oregon campaigning isn't over yet. Both Democratic candidates will be back in our state this weekend. Senator Clinton will be back in Oregon on Friday and Saturday. Senator Obama is coming Saturday and Sunday. As soon as we learn the exact times and places, we'll let you know. The Red Cross has found homes for 5 teens displaced from their apartments by a major fire today in Eugene. The blaze blocked traffic for hours while crews contained the fire. Danae DRC was on scene and has the story.
So we go running outside and looked, and sure enough, just right there on the other side of the building, and it was just pluming up.
Brad Scott had a dramatic day. His business is next door to where the fire started.
I mean, the second I walked in here, I could still smell the smoke. So you've suffered some smoke damage.
Yeah, I think so. I grabbed my respirator mask when I'm out in the wood shop. And
Brad didn't have to use his respirator because by then fire crews had arrived and were starting to fight the blaze.
And we sent 2 trucks to the roof, and they started cutting holes, and the fire was boiling out of the roof by the time they got around to doing that.
West 7th Avenue was clogged by fire vehicles for 3 hours. And when crews first arrived, the situation was dicey.
And then we eventually had to call a second alarm because we just didn't have enough hands on the job. And so we got a couple extra rigs here to help us out.
So tell us, I mean, were the firefighters in danger at any point?
Well, it's always precarious when you're under a fire or over a fire, right?
The fire happened in the apartments above the Looking Glass Youth and Family Services. 5 teenagers were living in the transitional housing, and the Red Cross has found them temporary homes. I'm Danae DRC reporting.
Fire crews believe the fire started as a kitchen fire when one of the residents was cooking this afternoon. Damage is estimated to be at $300,000. The man was tasered in Eugene today after allegedly punching another man in the face. Eugene police nabbed 55-year-old Tommy Lewis at 8th and Jefferson. Police tell us he was involved in an alleged assault today and another one last week. The victim said he didn't know the 55-year-old, but that Lewis walked up to him and punched him in the face today. Eugene police say after Lewis charged at them, they felt using a taser was the best option.
I was there by myself, and that's the only thing that helped me get him into custody and probably keeping him from hurting me.
Lewis was taken to the Lane County Jail, assault charges, disorderly conduct, interfering with police, and harassment charges. Because Congress hasn't approved more money, Lane County officials say their doomsday budget is looking more like reality. But as Tom Adams reports, officials are trying to slow the cuts with creative financing.
I believe we do have collapse coming very soon.
And the rate of victimization in this community will become intolerable.
So what we can do between now and July 1st.
You don't see this very often. Eugene City Councilors, Springfield City Councilors, and Lane County Commissioners under one roof, around one table.
That we're one county.
Officials looking for ways to avoid a budget train wreck and decimating cuts to Lane County programs.
The first point is I've been in this public safety system for 33 years. It is under more stress now than it has ever been in Lane County.
So officials are taking a page out of Creative Financing 101. It's a proposed money swap. Lane County is offering road fund dollars to Eugene and Springfield for street repairs.
And Eugene would transfer $1.5 million in general fund to Lane County, which then we could use to try to deal with some of these general fund problems.
Problems that include cuts in the DA's office, cutting the county jail to just 48 beds, cuts in sheriff's patrols to 20 hours a day.
It's an intriguing idea, and I would support it, but I'd be real cautious about